Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. This is a fantastic article from globalresearch.ca. There are several polls confirming that America is really a dictatorship. Polls of the American people. It shows several things. One, that the American people, by and large, do not trust their government and do not like their government, which doesn't typically happen in a democracy. And if in a democracy, most people say, oh, I like my government okay. Then if I really don't like it, I can vote them out. That's what a democracy is. Most people don't trust it. But there's also an alarming thing people don't understand. They also wholeheartedly support the military in this country, which shows you how the military-industrial complex has been so efficient in their propaganda of getting everybody military. Oh, we can't cut the military budget. We got to go to war. We got to bomb Syria. North Korea is a threat. Like, that's just so drilled into Americans. I hear liberals say this, and it's unreal. So I want to go into some of these poll. The Gallup did a poll on December 18th. Americans view government as nation's top problem in 2017. Government as the most important problem facing the nation. That's how it polled, right? So this is fantastic. The only scientific study that has yet been done on the question of whether the U.S. is in fact run by a democratic government or instead by a dictatorial one, specifically by an oligarchy or government that represents only the richest citizens, was published in September 2014, and it found clearly that the U.S. is definitely not a democracy, but the other type. That the, quote, preferences of the average American appear to have only a minuscule, near-zero, statistically non-significant impact upon public policy, whereas economic elites and organized groups representing business interests have substantial independent impacts on U.S. government policy. And furthermore, that real-world impact of elites upon public policy may still be greater than their statistics indicate, because the researchers weren't able to measure the impact that the super rich have on policy, but only the impact that the rich have on policy versus the impact that the total American public have on policy. The rich control America's government, but whether the richest do wasn't able to be researched as of 2014. So they're so effective, they were able to block that out of the research. Oh man. It was unbelievable. So here's a poll, too. By 2-1, Americans oppose moving U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, right? That was by two national polls in the U.S. that were taken prior to Trump's announcement of the U.S. Embassy in Israel being moved from Tel Aviv to the disputed city of Jerusalem. One having been on November 27, a poll of 2,000 Americans, and the other on September of 1,000 U.S. Jews. The overall U.S. public opposed any such move 63-31, and U.S. Jews opposed it by around similar percentages. This is unbelievable. Let me read you this. In addition to these, there's more polls that the American public to be ignored by America's government was also issued on December 18th, and this poll was headlined, "Half the public say their taxes will go up under GOP plan." And it scientifically sampled 806 Americans, and this is what they reported. Nearly half of the American public, 47%, disapprove of the tax reform bills passed by the Senate and House. Just 26% approve. Strong disapproval, 35% of the proposal, far outweighs strong approval, 13%. In swing counties where the margin of victory for either candidate was less than 10 points, 30% approve of the plan compared with 38% who disapprove. Many Americans see this bill more as an attempt by Republicans to gain political victory and would rather see Congress scrap the plan and start over. Half of the public, 50%, predict that the federal taxes they pay will go up with the plan now under consideration by Congress. Just 14% say their taxes will go down. The public was much more optimistic right before Trump took the oath of office in January. Back then, 2/3 expected the middle class would benefit from the policies of a Trump administration. That's staggering to me. Wow. There's a poll that came out in September 15th by YouGov, and the poll headline, "Could a coup really happen in the United States?" Which they've already happened. There happened one November 22nd, 1963. There happened one in December of 2000. That's when Al Gore lost. So in that poll, they were asked whether they would hypothetically support the military stepping in to take control from a civilian government which is beginning to violate the Constitution. 43% of Americans said they would support the military stepping in, while 29% said they would oppose. That's frightening to me. What's so crazy about this is the military already has taken over. Like, they don't even understand how the Constitution works, right? The U.S. government's an oligarchy. They didn't prosecute the banks in 2008. None of those people went to jail. What defense contractors get away with is unbelievable. And people think that they still have this high regard for the military. We've been so programmed, America military, we're the best, and we only fight the good wars, we only fight for the good causes, that we can't even see the connection. And everyone screams, how are we going to pay for it? How are we going to pay for single-payer health care? Cut the goddamn military budget. That's how. You want your children to have free college education? Oh, but then we won't be safe. Really? We're less safe now since we create more terrorists by drone striking them. We drone strike civilians. If your neighbor or your child or son or daughter, someone you cared, was killed in a rocket attack from another country, would you like that country? Even if that rocket also killed some bad guys, would you like that country, or would you vow to take them out? It's in the same poll, do you believe the military has a duty to protect the Constitution against domestic enemies? 72% answered yes, and 12% answered no. So thus, by a 6-1 margin, Americans don't know the difference between the function that the military and CIA are supposed to perform versus the function that the police and the FBI and entire Justice Department are supposed to perform, which is by design. We're designed to be stupid and not know how the system works. Most people are like, wait, I have state legislatures too? Yeah, every state has legislatures, a smaller version of the House and Senate. So you have state senators and Congress people that represent you on a federal level, that represent you in Washington, and then your state has a capital, and in that capital is your state representatives. Americans now support the nation's military-industrial complex over all other institutions, public or private. Unbelievable. Why would American generals want to perpetuate a coup? They're already getting almost everything they want, and without they'd suffer from the coup. It would be plain stupid for them to do that. The very question was asked in that poll was a bad joke, but a full 72% of the U.S. public not only didn't ridicule the idea, but actually endorsed it. They endorsed what's commonly called a police state, but which is actually a military state. Ruled by the military. Maybe that's what we've already got. But behind the military-industrial complex stand the nation's billionaires, the people who really run U.S. foreign policy. If that brute fact can't become understood by the American people, then not only does democracy no longer exist in the United States, but the basis to create or restore democracy here is likewise absent. Americans are big supporters of the military-industrial complex. The U.S. public have been deceived about what it is and what it isn't. So deceived that they place it at the top of the most respected of all institutions. How much more upside down, black and white? White is black, like Big Brother's news speak? Could the U.S. public be duped to be than that? If America's invasion and coup institution is at the top, then why are all others held in lower esteem than this, the most corrupt of all institutions in America? Read the whole article and all the polls and everything like that. It's scary, and it's unbelievable that Americans don't even understand how people still think we're a democracy. And they don't understand how much the military, when you find out that the military has been paying the NFL money to make players sit and sing the national anthem, that tells you what the propaganda machine is. When Brian Williams says, look, I'm so proud to be American, look at those beautiful rockets. Beautiful rockets going to kill civilians. Rockets that could have been spent to pay off student loan debt. Rockets that could have been used to rebuild the infrastructure. Rockets that could have been used to, I don't know, give people universal health care, which is a right. Rockets that the money that for those rockets could have been used to, I don't know, clean water. Instead of pipelines of oil, we could have pipelines of water. This country is not a democracy. It's an oligarchy, a plutocracy, That's what it is. And we are an empire. We are an imperialistic empire that goes out and blows people up and kills poor people just to take their natural resources. We do it in the Middle East. We do it in Africa. We do it anywhere there's stuff we need. We go get it. We blow people up. We put in dictators that are friendly with us and that all of our corporate billionaire folks get to profit from. And we create we create way, way more human misery than we prevent. Way, way more. And everyone in America needs to wake up to this fact. Thanks for supporting independent media, because CNN isn't going to report this. MSNBC isn't going to report this. Fox certainly isn't. ABC, CBS, they're not going to report this. So support independent media like this, because YouTube tries to demonetize videos like this. That's why when you go to the Patreon, you're supporting independent media. Thank you.